Hey guys, so Microsoft released .NET Core 3 in their .NET conference this year, and I'm gonna show you how you can install .NET Core 3 on your Visual Studio and explore a little bit of their new features. So first thing that you have to do is you have to update your Visual Studio. I have Visual Studio 2019, so you're gonna need Visual Studio 2019 and the version number should be at least 16.3. If you do not have it, you will see an update button here. You can click on it and update your Visual Studio and make sure that you have 2019 16.3 Visual Studio version. Another thing that you should make sure that you have .NET Core 3 installed on your Visual Studio. You can either, if it's not, you can tick mark it and install it. Yeah, that's one way to install it. And another way you can install it is you can go to their website. I'm gonna mention this link on in the video description, and download the assemblies depending on which operating system you're using it, and install this SDK and restart your Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, and you should see .NET Core installed on your Visual Studio. Awesome. So let's go ahead and check what they have done with Studio for this year. One thing that I noticed is they have this search bar now, so you can look for your project and start working on them. I thought that was pretty cool. Another thing that they have done is now you can have Windows application in .NET Core. You can make Windows Form application and WPF uh, um, applications in .NET Core. That means people who are using Visual Studio Code on Mac and Linux, they can also make Windows Form application or Windows WPF application too. And one cool thing that they have added with that release is single file executable. That means that when you publish your application on any machine, you can say that, okay, I want to publish a single file. That means when you do that, the machine that you're targeting, it does not need to have the runtime installed on that machine. That was pretty cool. So even if they update their runtime, it's not going to break your application. You can have the .NET framework is in it's bundled with your executable when it's published for that machine. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Another thing that they have released is Blazor apps. See, these Blazor apps were not there in previous version of Visual Studio. And Blazor apps, what .NET is trying to do is .NET is trying to compete with JavaScript frameworks like AngularJS and React.js. You can make a server app. You can make a Blazor server app with this version of Visual Studio. I have already made one. I'm going to run it and show you how it looks like. So when you run the application talks to a WebSocket. So if I click on this click me, you can see that the page is not reloading. All the computation is happening on the browser, and Blazor works for all the browser. To show you, I'm gonna hit on F12 and I'm gonna refresh the page and show you that this Blazor is talking to a WebSocket here in order to run the application. Awesome. Another thing that you can do with Blazor is you can have a Razor class library. That means that you can create reusable components for your Blazor application. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and you can reuse a widget in different apps if you want to. Cool. So yeah, that's it about Blazors. With mobile developments, what they've done is they have added hot reload. But before that, you should make sure that your Xamarin is up to date. Your Xamarin is pointing to 4.2. Okay, so what does hot reload mean? I'm going to run this application and show you what it means. So every time you make change in your XAML file, you have to stop your Visual Studio, make your changes, and redeploy your application on the virtual device. But with this update, what's happening is, see, the Visual Studio is running, and I'm typing here hello world, and I'm saving the XAML file. When I save it, then the emulator will reload the page and show hello world, which we just changed on XAML code. The way you can enable it, you can go on tools and in options and XAML and hot reload and enable it and click on OK. Another thing that they have updated with this is they're calling it as hot restart. Hot restart means that if you have hooked up your device on with Visual Studio and you're testing your application on your device, then even your device will reload the application every time you make changes on XAML code. So that was pretty cool. Okay, so in this release, in this .NET Core release, another thing they've done is they have added machine learning to it. See, they've added machine learning previously too, but they're making this as production ready. So, but before you add a model, a machine learning model, you need to install a machine learning builder, an extension for Visual Studio. So I'm gonna mention this link in the video description. You can download this and then install the extension for your Visual Studio, and then you'll be able to add a model builder, a machine learning model builder in your application, and then you can have, you know, provide the data, train your model, and do all machine learning stuff. Awesome. Another thing, another thing that done is they have updated C# too. C# is one of the oldest language .NET framework has been working with, and have been updating that language. You can find more about it in this link. Again, I'll mention this link in the video description. But one cool thing that I wanted to talk about is the way they've handled null with this update. They wanted to make code more safer and more production ready, and another thing that they wanted to do is make it more productive, so you can write less lines of code and achieve more things and move on to your next task. So that was another goal that they've achieved with this update. Awesome. One more thing that I wanted to talk about is GRPC, which is General Purpose Remote Processing Call. See, this General Purpose Remote Processing Call is a open source GitHub project which Microsoft has been contributing very highly, and I'm very excited about this is because now this is an open source project, and it's included in .NET Core 3. So that means that people who have Mac and Linux, they can also make this worker services with gRPC. And .NET had released, you know, .NET Remoting and then WCF, but they were mostly based on Windows. I'm very excited about this is because you can compile the services on any platform now, and any technology like Java and Python, they can also consume the services if they want to. So yeah, you can do that with these remote procedure calls. So another thing that I want to talk about is if you already have an ASP.NET Core 2.2 project, you can follow this link and migrate your 2.2 project into 3. I can make a video for this, so put comments if you want me to make a video. I can go ahead and, you know, follow this procedure and make a video and show how you can convert your 2.2 project into 3. So yeah, let me know. Before they signed off today, they mentioned about their schedule for next year, and they said that they're going to release .NET 3.1 next year, and in November 2020 they're going to release .NET 5, and they're going to combine .NET Core 3.1 and the legacy .NET, which is currently it's .NET 4.8, which works with Windows and it's open source. They're going to combine these two frameworks together, so there is no version confusion, and they're going to be only one version going forward from there, because right now it's causing confusion, like, okay, what's .NET Core and what's .NET From their goal is in November 2020 is to have only one version of .NET. And they said that they're going to have a WebAssembly, a Blazor WebAssembly in next with their next year's release, which means that you can convert your Blazor app into Windows app, and you can port it. You can just write code once. That's the beauty of .NET. You can write code only once, and you can port your application into Windows desktop application. Okay, so yeah, that's all about .NET Core 3. So yeah, install, update your Visual Studio, and let me know if you run into any issue. I will try my best to help. So yeah, thanks. Good luck.